We have our account here for Aweber, so we can see that we got the email. I just looked in the wrong account, so we just look in the correct email account, and it gives us a weird password. So go ahead and copy your crazy password, and I'm just going to come back over to the screen, this screen here that we had for our account name. I'm going to go ahead and paste in your account and hit log in. And now it's going to log you in. So when you go to log into Aweber for the very first time, it's going to have a welcome video. So this is going to tell you, just kind of welcome you to email marketing. If you want to watch this video, you can go ahead and play the video. If you want, you can just hit the blue button down here to get started. Now, what I would recommend before even doing that is go up here on this green button and simply click the X over here so you can stop getting that little pop-up offers. And I'm just gonna skip the video and I'm gonna say, let's get started. Okay, so when you hit the let's get started button, it's gonna ask your company name or your name. You can put that in here. If you wanna put in your company website, if you have a domain like bertbledsoe.com or something like that, I could type it in here. bertbledsoe.com. And then you want to have the address at the bottom of your emails. Because of the canned spam address, you have to have your business address or some type of address. So you could use a P.O. box or a business address there. Then you also have to have a sender name. So who do you want the actual email to come from? From your first name and last name, from just your first name, who do you want it to come from? And then a sender email. Now, you'll notice that it says please avoid free email addresses like Gmail or Hotmail because it can cause delivery problems. The main reason is they don't want to be sending out emails out of Aweber that is from spam accounts. So, if you don't own your own domain like yourname.com or some kind of .com already to be able to create an email, we're going to get you a domain so that you can get that email. So for right now, for these purposes, you can see that I have a Gmail account. I'm going to pretend that I don't have a domain either. Let's say I'm going to get bertbledsoe.com. So I want you to do the same, and I'm going to create an email that says info@bertbledsoe.com. Now, instead of bertbledsoe.com, you would use whichever domain you're going to get, maybe yourfirstname.com. Okay? You can always come back in here and change this. The reason we're setting it up now is because if you already have your domain but don't have the email, you can always go back and set that email up. Okay? And then you can have these emails, the sender email to your .com, forwarded to your Gmail or your Hotmail or whatever email you use. So now that you have your sender name in and a sender email, you're going to go ahead and click the next step button. So now we're going to create our very first list. So what would we like our list name to be? We'll call this our test list. And you could call it a test list too, just for trial purposes. Now you'll notice below this, Aweber assigns it an AW list number. And you'll see the number after AW list. That's its unique ID for this specific list. And we'll show you how to use that later. Just below the name of the list, you're going to have a brief description of this list. Now, this description will only be seen if your subscribers actually unsubscribe. So this description will only be seen when they unsubscribe. So you may want to describe the list, say something like, marketing directly to you, okay? So that's what the list is all about. So that's when they're going to see that, and that's a reminder to them about what the list is all about. So once you've typed in that brief description, go ahead and click the blue button for next step. By default, Aweber has you have a double opt-in email, which means that when the person subscribes to your email list on a website or on a opt-in form somewhere, once they opt in, that's the first level. The second level of opt-in is they get an email from you saying that they want to confirm that indeed they would like to opt in. Well, this is a standard setting that Aweber has automatically. So let's just bypass everything. Let's not click on anything on this page, and let's use their pre-configured settings by simply saying approve message and create list and selecting the green button along the bottom. Now you've created your very first list. The next option it gives you is to create your very first sign-up form, which we do not need to do at this time. So we can simply do the next step, which is to create your own unique password. So what I'm going to have you do is at this time, simply click on the My Account in the top right corner along the blue toolbar where your name is. So go ahead and select My Account. Over on the left-hand side of this page, you'll notice where it says password. To reset your password, simply put in a new password. I'm going to type in mine now. I'm going to type it in again to confirm. Whoops. I'm going to type it in again, and we're going to hit reset. So now that you've created your own custom password, you now no longer have to use the password that was emailed to you. You've now created your own auto response list inside of Aweber, and you've created your very first list. You've also reset your password. At this time, let's go ahead and create your very first follow-up message. To do this, we're simply going to click on the Messages tab. From here, we're simply going to click on Legacy Follow-Up Series. When you get to the next page, you'll see that you're on the Follow-Up Messages page. Here, we're simply going to click and select the drag and drop email builder. From here, we can create our message. Up at the very top is the subject line. For this message, we'll create the welcome. We'll call this the welcome to my newsletter. We'll make that the subject line for this first email in this follow-up series. Here you can see it's already pre-filled. Hi, and then it has a custom pre-filled in first name customization field so that it will assign the user's first name from their opt-in form into this field. And then it says, thanks for being a loyal email subscriber. We appreciate hearing from you. Let us know if you ever have any questions. So in this time, we're going to simply keep this as our follow-up, just for the sake of creating the follow-up series. So from here, we're going to go down to the bottom right and hit Save and Exit. So we created a subject line, we used the pre-filled in information, and we hit Save and Exit. Now, as you can see, the page got a little quirky here and didn't load up totally, so I'm going to hit refresh so that we can get a better visual. So now we can see exactly what you would see. This is now a draft in our messages. We can see a preview of the HTML and the plain text. So this is what it's going to look like for the HTML users, the plain text users. So we can see, okay, great, this is perfect. It has the unsubscribe buttons in there. It has exactly what we had in there. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and click on the send options over on the left-hand side. Now over here you could see that we can delete the message. We could click on the name of the message here, welcome to my newsletter, and it takes us back to the message itself so that we could edit it. I'm going to hit save and exit in the bottom right again. And we're going to go to the send options button right here in the middle of the screen, the blue button. Now, we could send a test email and send it to ourselves. We could schedule it as a broadcast, meaning it would be an immediate message right now. Or what we would like to do is add it to a follow-up series. So we're going to go and hit it to add it to the follow-up series. The subject is the welcome newsletter. The interval is follow-up number 1 is the welcome message your subscribers will get immediately after signing up. That's perfect. We have the tracking clicks to set up to track it, and we're going to say add to the follow-up series by selecting that button. We've now successfully saved that message to the follow-up series. So here in our current list, the test list, we now have one message in the follow-up series. We could simply select legacy and follow-up series, come back to this page because we're at this list, and create another message. We'd select drag and drop, and for this, I'm going to simply type in message 2 for our subject line. Now, of course, you would want something that would be a little bit more provocative, but this is just a test. So here we'll change this context up. This is okay. We're going to hit save and exit. Again, in our preview screen, we're going to see that it did change the text that we have in there. Okay, we have message number 2 in here, and we can change our send options. We can add it to a follow-up series. Now, this shows us it's message number 2. Follow-up number 2 sent how many days after the previous message? We'll just send it 1 day after the previous message. We can send it any day and any time. We could edit those options if we'd like to send it only on specific days and for specific times. We're not going to do that. And we're going to send and add this to the follow-up series by clicking the green button below. You'll now take us to the screen, and the legacy follow-up screen, and you'll see that we now have 2 messages in the follow-up series. If you followed along with us, you've now created your first email follow-up series. We'll see you on the next video.